Developing today, pressure on Prince Harry to apologise to Prince William in order to get the royal peace talks back on track. These revelations after a major People magazine cover.
So, People magazine just dropped a cover that sent shockwaves through the royal commentary world, a special marking 28 years since Princess Diana's death. And on the front, in giant bold letters, it boiled down the state of the brothers. One brother is preparing to be king. The other has stepped away to protect his peace.
Commemorating 28 years since the death of Princess Diana. Very significant cover, really, when you think about it, given that this is the magazine that is completely allied with Harry. Harry actually emails some executives at the magazine directly. And if we go back to that cover, it's very stark. One brother is preparing to be king. The other has stepped away to protect his peace. Prince William and Prince Harry remain devoted to their mother and painfully estranged. The insider saying Diana would have tried to act as peacemaker. Now, we're going to get more analysis from the Sidley twins of the brilliant Twin Talks podcast in just 1 second. But let me take you through a little bit more of this exclusive reporting inside People magazine, which I repeat, it is significant simply because of the magazine's proximity to Prince Harry. You know he will read every word of this. So they need to know Prince William and Prince Harry continue to honour their late mother, Princess Diana, through much of their public work and philanthropy. The painful feud remains profound and long-lasting. Andrew Morton calls the rift a great loss for the monarchy. Indeed, Morton also tells the People reporters that things were said initially that sparked the initial rift that has never healed. Robert Lacey, author of the Battle of Brothers book, very good book, I contributed to it, added, the rift is very profound and long-lasting. And here's the key line. It will not be changed, in my opinion, until Harry makes a move and apologises. Historian Amanda Foreman adds, everyone wants it to happen on their terms, but that's what makes it impossible. Then a source close to the royal household telling People this is the sadness of it. They aren't supporting each other like they should be. Referring to Diana, that's what any mother would want, that they are there for each other. Morton's even more clear, saying Diana always used to say she had 2 boys for a reason. The younger would be there to support the older in the lonely task as future king. There is no doubt Diana would have tried to act as a peacemaker between them. If she had been around, they would have worked things out in a different way. But not everyone agreeing with this People magazine narrative. Harry's Meghan Spare, in response, posted, the tensions began in 2016, when Meghan Markle entered the picture. Since then, Harry's behaviour has shifted. He's become more erratic and divisive. Without the palace's protection, his actions are now more visible and have revealed a little side of him that was previously protected. Meghan has amplified his horrible behaviour. She is the culprit and is to blame for the division between the 2 brothers. She's a controlling lunatic, a bully, a pathological liar, a grifter. Meghan has shown little genuine care or love for Harry, and her actions have shown she does not prioritise her best interests. Any loving partner would encourage a truce between the 2 brothers, but not Meghan. Her hate for the royal family, Princess Catherine especially, is so evident that she makes any reconciliation impossible. So, to Nancy and Stephanie Sidley of the brilliant Twin Talks podcast on YouTube, I think that is a very fair point, because People magazine, because they have to keep this proximity to Prince Harry, but critically Meghan Markle. You remember Meghan gave the only interview that she's given for the Netflix series to People, almost has seemed to write her out of this narrative altogether, as if the brothers' feud is nothing to do with what happened when Meghan got with Harry. And that feels very intellectually dishonest to me.
Ouch. That pretty much sums it up, doesn't it? William, steady as a rock, climbing the ladder toward the throne. Harry, off in California, fighting with Netflix contracts and chasing a kind of peace that somehow always involves another PR disaster. But here's the kicker. People magazine isn't just any magazine. This is the outlet with direct ties to Harry. He literally emails the executives there. Meghan gave her only Netflix docuseries interview to them. This is their safe space, their megaphone. So when People runs a piece like this, you can bet Harry's reading every single word. And honestly, that makes the cover way more significant. If even People is framing things as William versus Harry, estranged brothers, with Diana's ghost looming over them, then that's a warning shot.
Of course it's Meghan. And if his mom was still alive, there wouldn't have been a Meghan and there wouldn't have been a rift between the brothers. She brought him up to be the one to support Prince William when he became king. That's what she wanted. She was not this anti-monarchist free spirit that the Sussex Squad wants you to think she was. She believed in the monarchy, and this has got to be maybe Meghan and Harry's way of trying to create a new narrative that, oh, Meghan had nothing to do with it, so this is something that these two have to figure out, because if they do end up talking one day, who knows, Meghan should be able to come back with Harry, when it's pretty evident that the UK and everybody in the family does not want Meghan coming back ever. And that's like non-negotiable in my head. I'm like, I would not be cool with the royal family if they did that.
Prince Harry is definitely taking a different path now, because the BBC interview that he did a couple months ago did not land well. He was just saying, you know, I hope we can, you know, get back together. I hope my dad.
But he was still playing the blame game.
It looks now he's flipping the narrative in the script, going, oh, that didn't work. So I now need to make Prince William look like he is going to be king one day, and I need to support him.
Maybe show a little self-accountability, not too much.
But
the main thing is to keep Meghan out of the narrative, to not make her look like the villain, like she had anything to do with William and I and our falling out. That's what's going on here, because it is People magazine, and it doesn't pass the smell test with me, and I don't trust those two. And I also see that their brand is failing. They're going to have to find a way to make money,
and if that desperate times.
And if that doesn't happen, he's gonna have to start thinking about going back to the UK, because the bills add up in Montecito. I can only imagine how much it costs
he planted the seed on the BBC interview. He planted it.
Oh yeah, I want to make amends.
That didn't work. We all saw right through him. Well, but go to People magazine.
Yeah, but trying to keep Meghan's name out of it, that makes me like, that's not gonna work. That's just not gonna work.
No, absolutely. And the thing is, obviously People is walking this tightrope, because they are determined to maintain access to Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. At the same time, they know that their audience, their magazine buyers, are actually much more pro-royal family than they are pro-Montecito. And I think they're also trying to send a message to Prince Harry. That's what was very clear to me, especially with that inclusion of the line from Robert Lacey, because it is true. And it is William's ultimatum. He will not even consider joining the peace talks. And by the way, I think as it stands at the moment, I will be very clear, Prince William doesn't expect to speak to his brother for the rest of his life. But in terms of even contemplating, for example, sending a staff member to peace talks or anything like that, that just is a non-starter until Prince Harry apologizes. And of course, up until this point, Prince Harry is still looking for an apology to Meghan from the royal family.
He's going to do that for the rest of his life until he's out of this, or, you know, until he gets deprogrammed, because that's what the problem is. He is in our opinion, a narcissistic, abusive relationship. And that's just our opinion. We're not doctors, but just from what we see. And he's stuck in this. He has kids. He doesn't know what he's going to do. And he's terrified, but he also got himself into this mess. And he needs to take some self-accountability. William, you're right. William should never take him back at this point. He should never trust Harry again. There would have to be so many stipulations with that. But
security.
Yes, security.
A lot.
And then can you imagine Prince William bringing him around Princess Catherine? I mean, after what they did to her, they threw her under the bus, starting with the Oprah interview. Oh, well, they called her Waity Katie, but that's not the same as racism.
They shared private text messages in Spare.
He printed private messages. That's insane. And he put it in his dumb book. That to me is unacceptable. And I just don't know how he's going to come back from that.
Say it, forget it, write it, regret it.
Yeah, it's true.
Totally. And he was warned. That was the thing. He was warned time and again. And absolutely, I totally agree that William, in terms of what his plan is a life of exile for Harry and for Meghan. And that's what I want. I think, why on earth would you bring two people in who want to bring down the royal family? As Gad Saad, the brilliant Canadian academic, describes it, it's suicidal empathy when you do something like that. But we know Charles is too soft. Sorry, you come.
I think at first, I think at first they were afraid that Americans would feel bad for Harry and Meghan. I think if they came across too strong 3-4 years ago, but I doubt Prince William's watching this, but we just want you to know that in America, in America, we will not hold it against you. Okay. We will not look at you as like this being brother turning your back on Harry. We want you to remove the titles. We will be fine with that. That's what we want. Let them live in California and make the money, but take the titles away. Show some respect to the institution that your grandma and grandpa put so much of their lives into.
Their entire lives.
And even your dad, King Charles, he killed it as Prince of Wales. He was the best Prince of Wales ever. And just give them the respect that they deserve at this point. And they deserve, I get it. King Charles doesn't want to be the one to do it. But Prince William, please just take the titles away at least. Just get it over with. We will not hold it against you. We will praise you even more than we do. Trust me, okay? We will. We love you.
Meanwhile, Meghan's brand continues to wobble. Her Netflix projects are widely mocked. Her friendships with A-listers seem transactional at best. And even her PR stunts, cupcakes, rosé, jam, fall flat. The Sideleys pointed out how desperate her latest show looked, relying on controversial figures like Chrissy Teigen, a known bully, despite Meghan's anti-bullying crusades, or grifters like Jay Shetty.
Totally. And I think one thing that people probably haven't quite got their head around is a lot of these decisions are now going to be left to Prince William, which is why we see this leak into the Daily Telegraph. Oh, this is how Prince William and the royal family are preparing to remove Prince Andrew's titles, potentially to try and banish Prince Andrew. But you read between the lines, you look below the surface, and of course, what's good for Prince Andrew would also be good for Prince Harry, given an act of parliament here in the United Kingdom is required, and it would absolutely need the king of the day to ask the prime minister to pursue this. I could see a scenario where both happened at the same time. Because then it's almost like William's trying to depersonalize it a little bit in terms of how it plays. But trust me, these plans are afoot.
I mean, if Prince Andrew has to take one for the team, then he's going to take one for the team. I feel bad because he really was loyal to the crown. He loved his mother. He loved his grandmother very much. But he might have to take one for the team. And that's that. And, dude, it's like, what are you going to do? I mean, even though it's, even though the joke now is, well, Jeffrey Epstein didn't do anything, so why should Andrew feel bad about hanging out with him? I mean, that's kind of like the joke in America, but
I know.
yeah.
Oh God, this one is so messy. But actually, I'm
so
with you on Andrew. I mean, Brian E. Gordon wrote this ridiculous column for the Daily Mail this week saying, my friend Meghan is nowhere near as bad as Prince Andrew, and you should all be nice to her, even though she bullied everyone, right? And it's like, hang on a moment. Hang on a moment. Prince Andrew, for all of his faults, of which there are many, very few people disagree with that, never once set out to destroy the British royal family, set out to falsely accuse the British king and queen or future queen of racism. So it's like, of course the public feel much more strongly about what Meghan did, especially if we believe in the institution of the monarchy.
Exactly. I mean, I've never had a problem with Prince Andrew ever. And, our audience sometimes gets upset with us because they're like, how could you like this man? It's like, it's not that I don't like him. It's just, I go by what the queen was doing in the last months of her life. And when she was at Westminster for Prince Philip's Thanksgiving Day ceremony, she had Prince Andrew walk her down the aisle. That was for a reason. That was trying to communicate to everybody that I love my son. Please, when I'm gone, don't hurt him. She's not going to be around to protect him anymore. So I have to go with my gut. And I don't think Prince Andrew deserves to be stripped of anything, but if he has to go down with the ship, he's got to go down with the ship at this point.
See, I mean, listen, he's done some crazy things. Okay, let's just be honest.
Yeah, he's not a traitor.
He's not a traitor.
He's not a traitor.
But he's a dude that got hooked up with some sketchy people.
But he's done a lot of things throughout.
He's done a lot of things.
But he's
and obviously so did Bill Clinton, so did Bill Gates.
So did all
who maintain this place absolutely at the heart of the liberal establishment. I mean, it's really interesting, this one, to me, because I actually totally agree with you in that the Queen, and I've spoken to a lot of people close to the late Queen and close to Prince Andrew about this, and it's not a popular thing. It's not something people want to hear. But I do believe over the years, and remember, I've been very open about the fact that I've changed my view on this. I've done my own research. I've done my own reporting now for probably the last 3 years, and I'm not on the bandwagon of Prince Andrew as the worst person in the world. What I can tell you as an absolute fact is that the late Queen, who suffered no fools and who was always mentally competent right until the very end, we know that because of the way that she dealt with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, right, was utterly convinced that her son was innocent, that yes, had maybe made some mistakes, but he had certainly not broken the law at all. And she supported him 100%, which is why, as you say, she made that public show to the world for him to walk her down the aisle at what was one of her last public appearances, really, and most important public appearances. And again, that's not to say that Andrew can't be a little bit oafish. I mean, we had this story this week, and it's like, Andrew, what are you thinking? That he was feeling road rage. Did you see this after speed bumps were installed outside his home? This was an exclusive from The Sun. And apparently he barked, what the F are you doing now? Because one of these speed bumps had been built on Andrew's driving route out of his mansion. But it's just a bit like, come on, The Sun newspaper, like, are you just going to bully this guy and destroy this guy when he's just living his life? I mean, this is totally different to what Meghan and Harry are doing, right? What's Prince Andrew done since that Newsnight interview? He's tried to disappear.
He hasn't done anything.
I think that makes him relatable.
Yeah, that
he's like us.
He reminds me of Prince Philip too. That's something Prince Philip would freak out about. I mean,
totally.
We're having these discussions about Prince Andrew and road rage, but Meghan can have the biggest bully in Hollywood on her show, and Chrissy Teigen,
and that's
okay. That's okay with the press.
But that's okay.
These aren't A-listers. They're filler, which tells you everything about how far Meghan's star has fallen. And Harry is along for the ride, stuck in Montecito, facing mounting bills, fading relevance, and dwindling sympathy. At the end of the day, This isn't just about two brothers bickering. It's about the survival of the monarchy in the 21st century. William knows he has to protect the institution from Andrew, from Harry, from anyone who threatens its stability. And that means being willing to cut ties, even if it breaks his heart. Harry, on the other hand, is running out of options. If Meghan's grip is as strong as commentators suggest, he may never make the move that Martin, Lacey, and William all say is required, an apology. Without it, reconciliation is dead in the water. So the question becomes, does Harry wake up before it's too late? Or does William watch his brother disappear into permanent exile? For now, the ultimatum stands. And honestly, I wouldn't bet against William meaning every word.